Good Friday, everybody. Please take some time to remember your Lord and Savior during this time. So a few things before we dive into this, chapter 5 as part of part 2. First thing, let's reveal our answer from our trivia question yesterday. The question was, as a reminder, what is the number 2 seller at Permane Brothers over in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania? And the correct answer is the cheesesteak, otherwise known as the Pittsburgher. And that is the number 1 selling sandwich, actually, but the number 2 seller overall, the number 1 being Iron City Beer. All right, all of you guys that answered that correctly, we'll bring it over to Coach Cochran. Second thing, probably noticing I'm wearing a lot of the same outfits. I have completely went through my wardrobe now, so you have seen every shirt that I own, and now probably 2 times, because I know this is the second time I've worn this for the filming of these episodes. All right, now let's dive right into it. We are going to go to chapter 5, part of part 2, which is all about action. Chapter 5 is titled Follow the Process, and it begins with a little bit of football. Starts by talking about Nick Saban, 5-time national championship winning coach, leader of the Crimson Tide football team at the University of Alabama. And really what it talks about is not all of his accolades, all of his SEC championships, because really that's not what they focus on. It talks about what they focus on in order to achieve those. And he even mentions it, and he starts off with a quote that they don't talk about SEC championships. They don't talk about the national championship on a day-to-day basis. What they talk about is winning each day, what they can do every single day in order to attack every single task that they have and do it to the best of their God-given ability. And there's even a book called 4th and Goal Every Day, which pretty much highlights the Crimson Tide's day-to-day operations. And that's really the mindset. It's like every single day it's 4th and goal. And so we got to make sure that we're winning this day. We're not worrying about down the road. We're worrying about what we can do today in order to better ourselves so that whenever those things do come up, we're going to be well prepared for them. So that's really what it is. And then it talks about excellence, because really that's what excellence is. It's a matter of steps. You can't just achieve excellence all at once. You just have to work on being excellent in this category, then in this category, in this category. And it's just a series of steps. So as soon as you can compile those, you'll ultimately be at that level of excellence that we're hoping to achieve. And that's really with any task or anything that we're trying to accomplish. I know a lot of times people use Hell Week in the SEAL operation training as that prime example, and that's a part of BUDS where it's a week long of hell. That's why they call it Hell Week. And a lot of people that have gotten through it really claim a lot of their success to not focusing on the end of the week. They talk about not even just the day, they talk about getting to the next meal, because they're legally required to feed you every 6 hours. And so everybody, throughout all the hell they're going through, they put, okay, I just need to get to this next meal, and then we'll recruit from there, and then we'll get to the next meal. Then we'll get to the next meal. Then we'll get to the next meal. And then by the end of it, you compile enough of those meals on top of each other, boom, you finish the week successful, and you can become a Navy SEAL. So that's just a different approach to it. And really, when we talk about processes, because that's exactly what we're talking about right now, is when you have a strong process, it gives you order. And that order is so important, because when we have order and we have strong processes, it allows us to keep our perceptions in check and our actions in sync. Let me repeat that one more time. It allows us to keep our perceptions in check and our actions in sync by following the steps of a process and not getting ahead of ourselves and thinking too far down the line. And whenever we're talking about processes as well, it's really important when you're dealing with any type of change, because sometimes when you have some type of change that you're encompassed or having to deal with, you start to think way too far down the road. And whenever you can bring that into check and, okay, what's the first thing that I need to do in order to make this work? And then you just start with those little things. And we can apply that to our own lives too. You think about, just take any example. Say you want to have a cleaner room. Say you want your room to be cleaner. Instead of looking at your room and thinking, wow, this is a mess, how am I going to clean this whole thing? Start with a simple task. Start by just making your bed. How about that? Or maybe then just start by like pushing in all your drawers. Just make it a process. Same thing whenever we're talking about maybe the weight room or gaining weight. Like, let's not think about, okay, I got to gain 45 pounds. Like, wow, that's going to be a lot. Or I got to end up squatting 550 and I'm only at 315 right now. Like, don't worry about that. Like, follow the process. Follow the day-by-day steps in order to get there. So, like, when you're talking about gaining weight meal-wise, like, worry about what you're eating that next meal. Like, and then leave it there. Like, you can't start thinking too far down the road or else you'll never achieve it. So you got to start with those small incremental steps in order to get to where you want to achieve. So the process really, all in all, is about doing the right things right now. If we can do the right things right now, we won't worry about what will happen later. Like, put our focus right now. Be where our feet are. Be 10 toes in to the moment. That's chapter 5. Everybody have a great weekend. Happy Easter. And if you guys need anything at all, please let me know. But please enjoy some time with your families. Really decompress and really take everything we have into consideration and really be thankful for where we are in our lives at this point. All right. We'll talk to you on Monday at the end of the week, beginning of the week. Just have a good one.